Hi, hello, and welcome to The Itch, the show where I have an itch and I scratch it. And so my itch right now is to play some VirtualScape, which isn't really a game, but more of a program, and I'm programmed to scratch this itch right now. So anyway, VirtualScape, if you don't know, is a software you can download on the heroScaper's website. heroScape is a board game that I play on the channel. There's quite a few other channels that play heroScape. It's kind of a niche thing, but, you know, I'd like to bring it back to life at some point. Hopefully with everyone else's help. And the viewers like you. 10 Points Under. It's another channel that's on YouTube. They do heroScape Online. Commentates on heroScape Online content from different tournaments that they hold. So it's a little bit different than watching some of the content that I have. I was talking to Glenn the other day, and he had a good idea, and I'm doing this idea right now, which is to take a heroScape map from the community and kind of redo it so we can play on it. So I have you can't really download the VirtualScape map, and if you can, let me know for the next episode. But I'm going to just recreate this, but in my own image. But I'm going to recreate it first, and then do my tweaks. Because the first thing I see is such a pet peeve of mine. Huge pet peeve. There's a lot of empty spaces. So you see these, like, empty spots, right? It looks kind of empty. It's just white. That's not, like, snow or something. Like, that's just empty space. I built a lot of maps in my time. I shouldn't have empty spaces. I know people are using it because it's like, oh, you shouldn't have... If you don't have a lot of tiles, I get it. You use what you can. But I have a lot of tiles, so I'm going to do it. Even when I didn't have a lot, I still worked with it. So this is going to be a little weird because I usually start with a lot of big pieces. I usually start with the 24s here. This feels weird. This is such a, like... weird process. It's like 1:20 in the morning right now. So I'm gonna be a little tired, but I just had this idea of like, let me just do this. I want to do this. So you get this itch and I just want to scratch it. Hopefully there's people that are interested in this kind of content. Me playing with VirtualScape, because it is a fun program to play with. And I haven't done it in a minute because I have a lot of maps we have not played on the channel. And there's a lot of maps that I'm actually currently testing right now with Glenn and my buddy Matt. Sometimes they come over on Thursday nights and we'll just do like kind of like a warm-up. Not a warm-up, but like kind of like just testing out different characters and just kind of playing heroScape, just basic, you know, team deathmatch type of stuff. Do we really call, like... Okay, so here's a question to the community. Is basic heroScape just team deathmatch or just deathmatch? Or do we just call it heroScape? Because, like, obviously there's different objective game modes that we can play, and so we have, like capture the flag, or maybe a search and destroy game mode, or, like, kind of like a capture point, you know, collect glyphs type of game modes. So, like, is basic just, like, are we just calling it deathmatch? Like, what do you guys call plain old playing heroScape, like, when you kill everybody? Did you call it deathmatch? Like, I'm coming from the video game world, so that's what I would call it. Oh, it's actually... Okay, so here's a scenario. So, this person has some extra dungeon. Now, I don't have... Now, it also says here... Hold on. I think it tells me everything I would need. I have bushes, but I don't have the jungle trees. And I also don't have 2 dungeon sets. So I'm going to have to change the theme a little bit. Now, I don't know what a Borogove is. Can we look this up? What is a Borogove? Is that something I just don't know? Am I going to about to censor things? What am I looking at? A Jabberwock. I know what a Jabberwock is. But what is a Borogove? So this is kind of like a mystical area, I assume. And I don't know who that woman is. What is happening? What is this? So, dungeon, I don't really have a lot of. But I do have rock. So we can do that. But we can play with this a little bit. I think some of this gets covered, to be honest. If we look at the setup here, some of this definitely, you know what? I'll fill it all in with how I'll copy it exactly, and then I'll go back. See how it's a little red here, where this one's green. So if it's green, it means, you know what? I don't know what it means. If it's red, it means you're over the limit that you have. You can set your own limit with the configuration, with available material. So whatever tiles you own, you just plug in everything, or you put in your master sets on the bottom here. So I have my own configuration. I counted all of my tiles, counted all my pieces, and I plugged them in. Everything I currently own, I have into this program. The first layer is always the hardest. And then you got the start zones, which I'm changing up the start zones. Okay, answer me this. Why is it that the start zones are the most boring thing to ever look at? They look like Civil War reenactments. Am I the only one that looks at these straight lines here? This is right above my head. Okay, they use those yellow and green dots represent start zones, or your starting areas. Why does it look? Why is it just like straight across on both sides and not kind of like a group of some sort? Why is it just a straight line like a Civil War reenactment? Like we're just, hunting down and just straight line. I stare at you, you stare at me, go. We have to come up with some more creative designs here. So maybe we'll try to figure that out. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a weirdo when it comes to these decisions. I just don't like the straight line. It's weird to me. This is a very small map, which is great. It's something that I've been trying to downgrade my maps as well when I build, because when I record games, they're long. They're very long, and I don't want long games because that's a lot of editing, and I don't want to edit as much. I love editing. Trust me, I love it. But it takes me a long time. I put in a lot of extra stuff into the videos, the characters, the cards, special powers, wound markers. I keyframe all the wounds that come down with like sound effects. So there's a lot of sound effects. And I had for this time around for Utz Cup, I had my cousin make some music for me. So it was a lot. There's a lot to be put into it. And I'm so glad that so far, Game 3 will be coming out this past week, so by the time this video comes out, Game 3 will be out. Okay, I'm losing track. Okay, so I need rock. I need a rock! Rock! Oh, it's terrible. Why are we covering up water? I mean, look, I have tons of water. That's not the problem. It's the, like, there's no reason to put a piece like that in there to cover up. Look, everyone has their own way of making maps, and I hope some of the other YouTubers, either it's 10 Points Under, if it's MK Plus Ultra, if it's the infamous Sir heroScape, I'd like to see you guys do this type of content or expand into this other stuff. I mean, everyone has their own expertise. I like trying new things, so this is what we're doing. And like I said, I have my own way of doing things, and I could be a little anal about it. And this could possibly make me look like a jerk. But bear with me. So, like I said, not to say everyone's perfect. I'm not saying, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's no reason to be covering up that type of valuable resource. And this is actually, you know what? This is why this map stood out to me. Duh. Because it uses so much shadow. And it also has bushes on it. You're covering up water again, my guy. What are we doing? Is this a cave? I mean, look. You know what? I'm going to feed into it. It'll be like a little cave. So I'm going to 3D mode. This could be a little cave. How about that? Is that what you wanted? Is what we're looking at right here? Is what we're looking at? Little cave. I mean, and that's fine. That's totally fine. That is an aesthetic. But I saw this map on heroScape Online, which, by the way, if you're not familiar with what it looks like, this is the only angle. This is the only angle. That's the angle you're watching for heroScape. So if I had when I eventually do build this to play on on camera, yeah, we might be able to see this little crevice down here, and that might be pretty to look at. That's level 3. Now we're on to level 4, which you're looking at this box here. And there's not much left. But so far, this is what I got. This is the map. The dungeon tile makes it look very pretty because of how bright and vibrant the dungeon tiles are. But I don't have that. So we're going to work with what I have. So from here, I got to remember that the rocks. I really need this second outcropping. I will order that. I'll put that on my list. I like the outcrop. They're really cool. I like them. What the original concept is, you have these rock sides with some height, and in the center is some shadow tiles and some like some sand, like kind of like a. I still don't know what a Borogrove is, but obviously a fantastical place. 24. Okay, they're 24. Usually, I shouldn't say usually, all the time. To make an army, my friends and I chose 360, and our start zones are 18. So instead of the full 24. So I'm going to calculate it for how we play. I counted here. It's 18. Cool. By the way, if you want to see this map, this is a kind of a better style. This is I actually still have this map set up, honestly. I actually posted pictures of this on Instagram the other day. So this is how I design a map, if anyone wants to look. Coordinates, not coordinates, but 66 by 75. So it's a little bit bigger than the map that we're currently working on now. But this is how I do start zones. More of like a bunched up corner to have your army, and then they kind of face off from each other there. I like this a little bit better just because of how it's kind of integrated into the map, and it isn't a straight line. It's not like their first step is always forward. It's forward, but like they can go to the right, then go to the left, they go straight. Where for the Borogoves in this example, is your first move is always forward. I don't know. It looks different from that angle than this. It's probably exactly the same. To me, it's just a design choice. It's my personal preference. I just want to try to get the same pattern down. So 66 by 66. Pretty much is what we're looking for. I might even just start fresh, to be honest. We're going to start off with grass here. Because I like the 24s. So we're just going to look for an coordinates here. A little bit more. 6687, 6692. This is actually perfect. So this is the area that we're dealing with here. I want to try to keep the same dimensions that we had earlier, and probably play this as more of a diagonal than straight back and forth like this. So let's just connect these two here. There is not much water on the map. I think I'm gonna add a little bit here. So we're gonna just do a little waterway here. Little waterway here. We're gonna put our tree. Our tree is gonna be a little bit different looking. Well, I'll just do all bushes, to be honest. Keep that same method. So there is a tree here, a bush here. That I'll just put one in that corner and put in that one in that corner. Maybe I'll do that instead. Because this is going to be shadow. This entire area is going to be shadow. Because I believe, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, and I can be wrong, I'm not perfect, by all means. So please, educate me. But the jungle bushes, the jungle trees, have the same power / ability as the regular bushes, so that it gives you an extra defense from ranged attacks. So me putting the extra bush here shouldn't be that much of a difference. So I got the 4 out here. I have 2 left, though. I might get rid of these 2. I'll get rid of these 2, and I'll put little rocks. And on top of the rocks, small trees. And then in the center here, I'll keep it all sand. Do that. Then do that. These can be 2s, because I don't like just willy-nilly having small pieces for no reason. I gotta fill this in. So this is gonna actually be some rock. I think that's what this is gonna be rock. Actually, I probably should turn that into grass, because I already know that I'm gonna be covering it up. And hopefully, if you notice, my style is keeping things in a certain pattern. I like things in a certain pattern. I'm gonna add some water there. So, like I said, still keeping in the dimensions. I don't know if I'm still kind of going overboard with it. But I like this shape. You guys let me know how about you think about the shape here. Alright, so a little bit bigger, you can see. It's better for my eyes, too. Then again, I do have 19/19 vision. Last time I checked, I'm 28 years old. I don't need glasses. Knock, knock. I used to wear glasses, though. A lot of people don't know that. I used to wear glasses. But it goes to show that glasses do work. And they fix my eyes. They fix my eyes. This actually makes it a lot longer if you think about it that way. It's the same dimensions, it just makes it a bit longer. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but we'll see how it works out. I might end up changing this. Because if I take this away, for example, like if I get rid of this and get rid of this, I could still have the start zones be in this, and I could still fill this area here. Is that the same? Hold on, if I put... No, it's technically it's smaller. Technically it's smaller. Six tiles. It's smaller than 6 tiles. Kind of want to do my start zones. I just want to kind of see, this is the same level, but level 2 will be start zones. Kind of try to copy that as well. It's not the full, because look at that. I am working with a smaller team base. It's not the 24. I'm not using it for 500. I'm doing it for my friends. So this is going to be our start zones. As of right now, and now we're gonna put some stuff on top. So we're gonna try to keep this aesthetic with the dungeon. Put that there for now, and we'll put this one cockeyed as well here, and then realize that I covered up trees. I gotta put dungeons, shadows. Interesting. And then maybe we'll put the bushes in between, kind of separating it. And, okay, there we go. So now you got the bushes pushing through here. Shadow tiles are on top. The trees. Still got some sand. And then we're going to fill this with rock. Or I should say more dungeon. Try to use as much dungeon as we can. And then if we look back at it, it's all dungeon. I'm trying to think on if I should put the height. See how on Typhoon's version of the Borogoves, he's got these rocks in the center. It's a very pyramid shape. When we're looking at the map design, so you have the start zones on like a level 1, and then you go up a little bit, and then you go up a little bit, and then you go up a little bit. So on the sides of the map, if you look over here, on the sides here, it's kind of like a pyramid. It goes up to a point. I'm not sure if the highest of the point should be like at the green here, because I could always fill it in here on both sides. I like overlapping. And actually, I was going to say this too, is I could do this. Because what this does, and I think I've already accomplished it. Hold on, this bothers me. Another pet peeve of mine. We're going to put a rock here and here. It looks like this rock formation is overlapping and kind of hugging the dungeon as if it was a living rock, and it kind of formed over the dungeon space. I like making the start zones very distinct and easy and recognizable. When I look at Typhoon's map and you ask me what is a start zone, I could say, oh well, it's probably just on the stone and the sand, right? But he's like, oh, you can start on the water too. I'm like, why would I start on the water? Like, that to me is just slow. It doesn't feel right. There's just starting water. It feels weird. So I would not expect that. So I want someone to be able to look at a map and be like, yeah, that's the start zone. I don't like, cause like there's no little coin tabs. Like you ever play bingo and you get these little see-through colored tabs? Oh, if someone please tell me if you know what I'm talking about. That would be kind of cool if you got a bunch of those dots and just made them the start zones, kind of representing what these colors are. I'm talking with a lot of my hands. I'm realizing now that the webcam isn't picking up my hands. The Italian in me. I don't have that representation for the start zones IRL, so I want to make sure that when I'm designing the map that it's very distinct. So my problem is, since this area here, when my mouse is pointing, is not the start zone, how do I fill this area up when I don't want to really kind of keep stacking it on top, put more stuff on top? Okay, so I have 16 shadow. So, dungeon. Alright, so I have 6 left, so I can add some more. No, that's a rock. Rock! Huge shadow area. Now, I don't know if we need this entire shadow area. We can... Well, how many does he actually use? That's a good question, too. See, no, he does not. He does. He uses exactly 16. So we are in that parameter. I don't want to group all this in this one big spot. Unless it looks really badass, then we might have to. Yeah, let's separate. Let's separate that. That's a lot. Spread some shadow at some of these corner spots here. I think we're going to put the glyph a little bit closer here. We're going to put a tree in front as well. Put an 11. Put an 11. We'll match that together. Still kind of like this road. I need this like something in the middle. The balance is off a little bit because of the single tree in the center here. So there's got this kind of this big road vibe. And I already have stuff here. I got stuff here. So I could always put more trees. So then it kind of breaks it up a bit. So it kind of makes this like shadow path. This map is kind of open, so I don't want to take away and make it a really claustrophobic space. Get rid of these trees. It is kind of open. I want to make sure that there's still sand represented on the map. So let's actually spread the shadows around. Kind of try to still give that shape to it if we can. And so how does this look? Okay, it's got the vibe. It's got this vibe to it. But the tile is... I'm trying to mimic this tile here. So I gotta figure out a different solution instead of trying to copy the solution. But like I said, I'm still trying to give it the same vibe. That could help my solution. I notice here that there's 2... Did I never add these into the other one? Unless, if I solve my problem by shifting the glyph into a different corner here. So now it solves the issue of there's 2 shadow tiles. I still got the sand. I still got a sand vibe. I got a lot of dungeon, which I have to start filling with some rocks, which I do have plenty of rock. Rock! I got these little sand dunes on top here. I got trees. I got bushes. I got 2 bushes. There's actually bushes in the start zones. So, I remember somebody telling me in a comment a while ago that there's this rule that the bushes, the bush tiles, need to be surrounded by at least 3 sides. Could someone explain that to me again and why that makes sense? I've been trying ever since. I remember someone telling me that, and ever since I've been trying to follow that as much as I can. If it's supposed to be like a whole plant thing, like integrate it into the world and make sure it's kind of like integrated, like, okay, I can kind of get behind that. That's even my own rule set in my head, because it makes sense here. I mean, he has it on 3 sides here. That's integrated, that's integrated, that's integrated, that's integrated. Everything else is all integrated. So if I had to put one at the start zone, I'd probably most put it here. Ooh, I could plan it. I actually could plan it. Hold on. So we actually used all of my 3s for that. Just to plant a plant. So we have ones at the start zones. If I had to put them anywhere else, because I want to match that if I can. Maybe I'll put one over here. And then put some 2s. And then presto majesto. But we have this thing. It doesn't look that bad here. I think in some situations it could work, but not all. But anyway, let's move on to the rocks. Maybe I'll think of a solution if I have to after I do some of these rocks. Rock! There are some more places the dungeon goes up, but I'd rather have it where the rock is forming through the dungeon. For these spots over here. So I'm actually gonna take some 3s here, and I'm gonna actually have it kind of go back to back. Move that there, so back to back. So I got these little areas. And now I'll go up again. How much does he have on the 4s? Not much. Okay, he only has like 1 peg. Okay. For the outcroppings, I think I'll just keep using the rocks. Rock! So it's kind of like circling around, and I like how it's kind of it's next to the bushes here. It's a little interesting. Definitely the high spot is here. That's really fascinating. I don't think my friend group has ever played on a map where the only things to stand on is a 1 tile. I feel like it's a little unfair, especially for the double bases, but then again, it's like, oh, well, I can't take double bases now. I can't get to the highest spot. Well, okay, well, your character, if it's a double base, it's most likely super high and a little bit more powerful, so maybe you shouldn't be able to go on a spot like that. Okay, so this is actually coming up pretty good. If I take the entire start zone and bring it up a level. And then so you're stepping down onto sand, I'll just cover up where the dungeon is, like a little bit, or I'll put a tree or something, like, so that I might do that. Let's do that. I added the extra layer that I wanted to do. So now the starting zone is you're stepping down on top of the sand. I always like separating the layers of the type of area that you're working with. So like, let's say, rock and grass, kind of like having this idea of like the Earth's layers. And I know this is a fantastical area, but I like able to separating the different levels so that even if you are creating a theme, but also different indicators on the map showing that of what certain heights things are. So knowing that all of the sand are on the same level. Dungeon layer, which is all on the same level. So if one dungeon character is fighting another dungeon character, you know that they don't have to add any height or height advantage or not. Everyone's on the same playing field. You know what, though? I'm sorry, Typhoon. I'm gonna admit it. My mistake. I think what bothers me more with the 2 tiles touching over here, is probably because it's 2 tiles and it's not really like conforming into any type of space, where I have the 2 rocks here forming into the start zone's rock, and then this kind of forms into some sort of path. I'm gonna leave this here, but I want to put something here. I don't have the big outcroppings. That's the problem. And I like having these single outcroppings out here. Anything there. You know what? I will leave it open. Um, there's also no ruins here, but I do have some custom smaller rubble that obviously I can't port into VirtualScape. So eventually, when I put in a link to the live action footage of this game being played out, I will show you the changes that I made. Let's take a look at these two maps here. Not a perfect copy of what he has, what that Typhoon has, but these are my renditions. This is what I changed. This is what I think. Is it perfect? No. Does it give off the same vibe? That vote is off to you. As a viewer, a fan of heroScape, did I do it justice? Did I mess it up? Should I never do this again? Am I a jerk for insulting Typhoon's majestic map making? Like I said, it's just an art piece. It's a creative thing. You know, I just wanted to put my own twist on things. Is there a map that you would like me to try revamping into my own style? Please leave a like, a comment. I've had tons of time for you to comment during the video, but if you still haven't said anything at this point, say hello. At least a hello. If you want more content, you'll tell me. I know you will. You're an honest person, and I respect that. I really do respect that. I am not crazy. I am Joe Crazy. Thank you for scratching my itch with me. Have a wonderful day. I love you all. Peace!